Hello and welcome everybody to the Africam Show. It's me again. I hope you have all recognized my voice and my face by now. It's Trishala and we have some elephants to start off at Oliphant's River. Gosh, elephants have really been the star of the show. Listen to that scream. For the last couple Tuesdays. That's excellent. So glad to be spending some time with elephants and to be spending some time with you all. You might hear a bit of construction, but that's okay. We've had that for a couple days near the Oliphants River, at least I think so. And you also heard that scream from the elephants. Usually that comes from youngsters. It didn't sound like the "I'm not getting any milk" scream. It sounded a little bit deeper, so maybe a slightly older, maybe a sub-adult. Not exactly a still suckling little one. I love watching elephants near riverbeds, or in this case where there's an actual river, and where they have to walk up or down an incline, because they look so big and in a way cumbersome, even though they're not when you actually spend time with them, but they look this way. And as they walk up and down inclines, you think, oh gosh, they're going to topple over. But they are so careful. They're so aware of their body. And also they have this cushioning under their feet that's callous, that allows them to have quite a bit of wiggle room in terms of angle as they move down and, I guess, up a bank as well. Let's get to some hellos. Of course, remember that it's live and interactive, so send through your questions and your comments. We'd love to have some great discussions and hear what you think of elephants. Speaking of, Shreya's K says, hello Trishala and everybody, hope you're all doing well. Shreyas, I know you said previously that elephants are not your favorite, but it is always good to spend time with them, and we're definitely getting to spend time with them. Jenna says, greetings Trish and all from the fine state of New Jersey. Looking forward to today's show. Hi Jenna. We've got some elephants to start off with. I think that's a fantastic start. Rolling Trouble. Hi Rolling Trouble. You say hello from Washington. Hello. And Tammy says, hello Trish and everyone. Hi Tammy. We have Kennedy Ann. You say, good morning from British Columbia, Canada. We have Aussie Jan. Well, I have arrived, says Aussie Jan. Coffee is brewing. Oh, are you a little late this time, Aussie Jan? Usually your coffee's in hand with a snack. And then we have Dia NC, who says, good morning, Trish. Hope you're well. I am so well, Dia. Thank you so much for asking. I've had an interesting last few days. I'm looking for water bears with my microscope. Something very, very small. And now we're looking at something very, very big. Lovely herd of elephants. So I want you to notice here, so they've been puttering around as we've been going through the hellos. Look at this one, slightly struggling to get up that hill. When they do that, when they're struggling to get up a bank, you'll often see them stretch their heads forward like this. Or sometimes if they're sitting on their bottom, in order to get up again, they have to push their heads forward. Now the purpose of this, it almost feels quite intuitive, you know, if you want to push your weight forward to help you move forward. And I think that's what they do here, to try and get themselves to move upwards. But what I wanted you to notice is that some of the elephants towards the back there started to move off just a little bit. And as soon as they started to do that, the rest of the herd also started to move a little bit. So usually in a herd, there is obviously the matriarch, but there are also other older females that are experienced and who also take on duties in terms of leading the herd. And so what I'm getting to is that if the matriarch had, say, moved off a little bit, the rest of the herd may have automatically moved a little as well, but perhaps she stopped further up, and now they've decided that they can stop too. Usually as the herd moves, the matriarch or one of these experienced older females lead the herd, and then also one of them will be behind the herd. So everybody who's in the herd has the safety, or rather the experience of the large and older experienced female in the front and in the back. Zygote, hi Zygote. You say hi Africam and Trishala. Hi Zygote. Lisa White says good morning. Zygote, as always, telling us the red-eyed dove is calling as well as the Cape turtle dove. Always beautiful sounds to hear in the bush. And we've got some more elephants now at Tau. So cool. Oh, damn, we've got a little Egyptian goose with some as well. I love seeing a little anything really. I mean, who doesn't see big animals? But especially when they interact with other animals, because I wonder, have they seen elephants before? I mean, it's likely that they have, because these are not very many. But what is that first experience with them? How brand new the world and full of things to learn. Oh, look at them come out. Come on. Well, anyway, I feel a hi from Kathy. Kathy, and see you say hello from Colorado. Lovely, intelligent, and of elephants. Oh, I'm so happy that you brought up it, because it's such a beautiful thing. Of course, it's in a sense anthropomorphizing them, but when it comes to that kind of thing, I have a scientific mind, so I don't usually do that, or at least I didn't used to do that, rather, when I used to work in a lab setting. But the more time you spend out with the animals, you realize that these are individuals. And there's a lot of empathy, particularly with elephants, that you kind of feel. It's not something I can, empirically measure or anything like that, but you can definitely feel something, especially when you're around elephants. I was recently spending a lot of time with a turtle, quite a large green turtle. And one of the key things that I learned from spending time with him is that he is an individual. I know it seems obvious, they're all individuals, right? But we tend to think of them as a species or as a herd group. But he had a personality, and he was an individual, and it really hit home that, every animal does count. Of course, there are thresholds, there are population thresholds that are necessary for a species to be able to proliferate, and below that threshold, we consider them vulnerable or even more so endangered. But everyone is an individual, and everyone has their own traits within, of course, the confines of what they're capable of and their capacity is. Elephants are certainly one of those animals that I think, or I feel rather, have personalities. I've met a lot of individual elephants. Those that like to frequent camp, those that like specific bushes, and they do all have their special traits. Look at how they're all standing very still. I love when they do that. There's a whole lot of movement, and then suddenly everyone's standing still. You can see in the centerish of your screen, in the second row of elephants, the one has its trunk on the ground as well. The elephant to the left of our screen has been picking up its front foot. Everyone is listening to something. Maybe they're talking amongst themselves, maybe they're picking up on something that's being said by another herd. As soon as the communication is over or broken, they'll all start moving again. Miss Parker says the colors at Tau are what get me. So beautiful. I also really, really enjoy Tau, especially this very mineral-rich soil that they have here. It really creates a beautiful contrast. Andrea Pelletier, you say that you're surprised that these elephants, I suppose, are so trusting of that vehicle that went by. In many areas in Africa, there are populations of elephants that are specific to that area have different attitudes towards vehicles. I've been lucky that at least in the Sabi Sands where I've worked, the elephants are much like these. I mean, like these with that interaction with that tourist vehicle, and that they don't really worry about you. You can, if you sit tight and you let them come to you, they can be very, very, very relaxed around you. And particularly at water holes, elephants are far more interested in the water than with you. But now that changes. For example, in the Kruger, elephants are not as relaxed, and in other parts of Africa as well. But you find in reserves or areas where the interaction between humans and vehicles and lodges and elephants are better controlled, for example, in the Sabi Sands, where you don't have self-driving tourists, then elephants have better interactions with the vehicles because they have learned that the vehicles are not a threat. Whereas in areas like the Kruger where you can self-drive, that means that we have basically no control over people's behavior. Maybe they want to get from point A to point B, there's a herd in the way, and they decide that they want to push through. That could make the elephants angry, and then they don't like the next vehicle that comes through. So it's wonderful that those guests managed to get a really nice view of the elephants as they drove past. You would also notice that they drove quite slowly once they actually approached the elephants, which is exactly how you want to do it. My favorite way to approach elephants is to, obviously you can see them from a while away because they're large and they make quite a racket as they walk through and break branches and eat and strip leaves. But I love to see a herd from a distance, and then I'll stop my vehicle and I'll figure out what direction their general direction is. And then I will park myself in an area where I can see that they're moving to and wait for them to come to me. Those have been my best elephant sightings because they completely understand that you are there and they are still deciding to make their way towards you. And that's when they're very, very relaxed, and calves are playful, and adults are going about their business. And it's a kind of a level of trust in a way. Michael S., you would like to know how many years does an elephant live for? So African elephants, generally in the wild, will only live up to about, I say only because I'm comparing this to an Asian elephant, which we'll talk about in a moment. But in the wild, African elephants live to between 55 and 65 years old. 70, I'm sure they have been, but the records are not great for those ages. So African elephants are not able to be kept in captivity. Or rather, it has been tried, but it's not successful. Asian elephants, on the other hand, are kept in captivity quite frequently. And so that means that they're monitored daily, and also they're not in the wild. So for Asian elephants, there have been records of up to 88 years old. But with the African elephant, we don't have those kinds of records. An elephant's longevity is basically determined by their teeth. So they go through 6 sets of teeth, and the final set that they get in their late 30s to 40s. Obviously, each elephant is a little bit different, but the first few sets go by pretty quickly, and then that last set has to last them quite a while. And once those get worn down, then the elephant can't eat as much. And then you'll see those elephants hang out around water holes where the vegetation is a little bit softer and juicier, not so fibrous. Look at all these guinea fowl. and so they're limited by what they can consume, based on their dental structure, or rather the longevity of those teeth. Having a quick look around. So many guinea fowls, so sweet. What do we have here? Nothing. Always worth a good check. Darlene, hi Darlene, you say there was a video on the news that a zoo child, at a zoo, not a zoo child, at a zoo, a child dropped a toy and an elephant picked it up and gave it back to the child. Oh, that's very interesting. I'm gonna go have a look after we finish up here. But that also, like, it doesn't surprise me, especially with elephants in a zoo where they're used to humans. But that's such a lovely gesture, lovely thought, Darlene, and a great example of this empathy that we were talking about earlier. Hi, Sergeant Pepper. I love your name. Oh, we've moved on. Lovely. Oh, we've got some hartebeest and we've got some springbok. This is lovely. This is Camphor's Dam. We see such a great variety of antelope at Camphor's. I remember, and also the landscape is so grassland-like. There's scatterings of bushes and things like that, but there's certain patches that are really still purely grassland. And that makes for a really beautiful sight. Sorry, Sergeant Pepper, I cut off. Oh, look at that, Gemsbok as well. Sergeant Pepper, you say so many writers talk about elephants' sense of community. Elephants love reunions. They recognize one another after years and years of separation and greet each other in wild, boisterous joy. There's bellowing and trumpeting, ear flapping and rubbing, trunks intertwined. That's Jennifer Richard Jacobson that Sergeant Pepper has quoted there. Absolutely, I absolutely agree with that. And I've seen those kinds of interactions. And we'll chat more about it when we go back to the elephants if we have time. But for now, let's enjoy the variety of antelope that we have. This is just lovely. So all the antelope that we see here, so Camphor's Dam is in Kimberley, so it's much part of South Africa. And all the antelope that we see here, the Gemsbok, the Springbok, and the hartebeest, are all adapted to this lifestyle. In fact, Springbok, they literally do not have to drink water for their entire lives. There are records of Springboks that have not drunk water for their whole lives. And that's because their bodies are so well adapted to being able to extract moisture from what they're eating. And then you might think to yourself, oh, well, it doesn't look like they're eating anything particularly juicy, and they're not. But their bodies are so well adapted to extracting the nutrients and the moisture that they rarely have to drink water. With a Gemsbok and a hartebeest as well, they will drink if water is available, like any animal. A Springbok will drink if water is available, but they drink a little bit more readily than Springboks do. Oh, just beautiful. It is also interesting to note that all of these antelope, both sexes, have horns, which is another interesting feature of being in this kind of more arid environment. And that's because both sexes are involved with being able or being in a position to defend themselves and their territories. And now we have some baboons. Oh, lovely. So much variety. Gosh, I love variety. That's the most beautiful thing about being out in the bush. You can see everything from dung beetles to elephants. So this is also at Olifants. So no doubt the baboons would have definitely seen the elephants. They have great eyesight, much like ours. So most animals have 2 color cones in their eyes, while we have the additional red color cone, at least most of us. So we have 3 color cones. And baboons, and I mean most primates, have 3 color cones as well. And that's really useful because these animals that live in trees and who eat fruit and want to make sure that they're eating ripe fruit. My gosh, when I saw this, and it was a little bit blurry at first, I thought, oh, it's a leopard with 2 cubs. But it is not. I was just getting a little excited. It's a baboon with some little ones, or littler ones, not exactly tiny. The whole troop is enjoying a bit of a picnic. Oh, look at this. Yes, we've got some dominance displays here. So these two are unlikely to be siblings. They're just a similar age within the troop, and forming relationships, friendships, alliances within a baboon troop is very, very important. It can sometimes mean the difference between your young surviving and being killed. Because if a female is able to form alliances with the right adult males, even if she's not mating with them, if she's not of her young, then she will be able to put them in a better position if and often when, because it can be quite. Oh, looked up at the cam. The oligarchy and the alpha male can switch around quite quickly, and when a new alpha male comes in, he will kill the young of the other alpha male. And so if she can have influential adult males in her corner, she can protect her young better. And this complexity, social complexity, is seen from the time they're quite young. You can see like these two that are hanging out together, playing and learning. And the complexity is not just between adults and the young, but also several generations. So grandmothers, mothers, and their young. In fact, apart from, so for an infant, they obviously respond to their mother and spend time with their mother mostly. And the next female that they will spend the most time with is their grandmother, which I find just adorable. They seem so relaxed. I've spent quite some time with baboons that were not looking very relaxed and fighting or alarming. So it's really nice to spend time with them just chilling at the river. Like with most animals in the bush, the time between, or at least most diurnal animals, those are the animals that are active during the day, there's quite a steady formula as to what they do. Wake up in the morning, groom, and then go out and forage. And that's exactly what these baboons are doing now. Baboons are omnivorous, so they'll be taking fruits, seeds, leaves, shoots, anything they can find, as well as insects. I've seen a baboon catch and kill a scrub hare. Happened right in front of me. It was quite an interesting thing to see, because during the day, scrub hares lie very flat to the ground if they feel threatened. They don't hop away very quickly. And so I saw this baboon attack something, but I couldn't tell what it is because the grass was long. And then I saw it pick up its head, and it had a scrub hare in its mouth. And of course, some others tried to fight that male for his scrub hare, but he showed them who's boss. Look at her as she moves through, scratching, eating. I mean, that's the most important thing out there, right? Keep yourself healthy. And grooming is an important part of being healthy, and eating is an important part of being healthy. Hey Gigi, you'd like to know if baboons can have twins? It is possible, but not common. Oh, look at our boy or girl, we're not sure exactly what sex this black eagle chick is, but isn't it just magnificent? Just stunning. Now, it's been hiding behind a rock, that rock on the side, for a little bit, and we didn't get a clear view, and so I'm really, really glad that it's come out for us to spend some time with it together. Now, there's no doubt that this one is going to fledge very, very soon. So the textbooks say 90 days. We're probably around 80-something days, I'd say, by now. Which means that pretty much any day, we're going to see it fledge. We've been seeing it jumping and flapping and all those wonderful things that are just telling us that it's going to happen. It's showing us all the development, and not just development in terms of musculature and movement, but also something's happening in its brain, right? It's something's going on where it's saying, this feels right, this movement is right. You know, there's things happening in its brain. I find that fascinating because that's such a huge part of development too. Beautiful. Oh, Sarah, you say the baboons were giving the Zumi a tough time. Well done, Zumi. Absolutely. Well done, Zumi. The baboons are, they're known to give us a tough time, but that was great to get us the view of those two little ones coming through and looking at the cam. So I say with this black eagle chick, if we keep a steady eye on the cams, which we always are. Oh, hello. Have you noticed us? Yeah, if we keep a steady eye on the cams, we're going to see it fledge very, very, very soon. I hope this week. I mean, look at it. It's basically got all of its feathers, all of its flight feathers. It looks sturdy, and it's only a matter of testing out his new gear. I said his. But I really can't be sure at all. Oh, always in awe. So keep an eye out. I'm going to keep an eye out as well. Beautiful. And we have just about a minute and a half or so left of our show. Oh, look, there's even a croc down there. Hello, croc. You're so well camouflaged. If you're looking at the bottom left quadrant of your screen, now in the bottom left corner. And we have some elephants to end off with. And a few elephant questions. Mr. Metz, 85. You say, hello, Trishala. Hello, Mr. Metz, 85. I'd like to know, how much water does an elephant drink a day? A lot. So it's usually about 150 to 200 liters of water. Now to put that, like to give you just a little bit more information on that, elephants are obviously very water dependent. They drink very often and they use the water to cool down as well. In their trunk, they can hold anything between 5 liters, some books say 8 liters of water in their trunks. But they also are able to dilate their nostrils, so basically flare up their nostrils, right? And the trunk is an extension of the nose and the upper lip. It's fused to create the trunk. And so they can flare up their nostrils to even increase that capacity. And they're able to suck up water. I think it's something like 3 liters per second. That is huge. Absolutely, that is huge. That is very, very fast. It's much faster than you sneeze. Okay, well, we're almost at the end. We've got one last question. Anna, you said, what age do baby tusks appear? Well, babies, when they're about a year old, they have what's called tushes. So those are not, you're not able to see them, but it is under the skin of the elephant where the tusks will come out. And then by the time they're about 2 years old, you're going to see little knobs come off, little tusks. And the tushes serve to give direction to the tusks. So where the tushes once were, that's where the tusks begin to develop when they're about 2 years old. You can see them properly by the time they're 3. Beautiful. What a wonderful show, full of amazing content, so much variety, and great questions and comments too. Thanks everyone. I've had an absolute ball in the African bush with you all today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.